Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited. Stolen LSA leads to arrest after forced landing. GoldFinch first piloted aircraft flying at NASA Langley. The Hawaii Martin Mars performs its final flight. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Stolen LSA leads to arrest after forced landing. An experimental Quad City Challenger 2, which apparently had recently been stolen, experienced a terminal case of fuel exhaustion and subsequently made a forced landing on a bit of farmland owned by Kristofer Surran in Corbin City, New Jersey. New Jersey state troopers were called to Corbin City just before 0900 August 7th in regards to reports of a man who, quote, seemed suspicious, end quote, and was seen walking out of the woods. When confronted, the subject reported that he had crashed his aircraft but was otherwise unresponsive to questioning. Subsequently, he was arrested for obstruction and identified as 42-year-old Robert Wagner of Point Pleasant, New Jersey. The pilot/felon was not injured and the aircraft was not significantly damaged. Local Pemberton PD reported to NJSP that Wagner had stolen an aircraft the day before, and that the N number matched that of the aircraft found nearby in a farmer's field. Further, Wagner was connected to 2 other robberies in the area. After continued questioning, Wagner did confess to the 2 burglaries and to stealing the plane. After the break, British Civil Aviation Authority certifies Gulfstream G700.
The legendary BD-4-seat program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD-4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD-4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. British Civil Aviation Authority certifies Gulfstream G700. Gulfstream Aerospace's new G700 ultra-long-range business jet has received certification from England's CAA. The G700 now has its 11th certification, including EASA, Mexico, and others. Deliveries to UK customers will begin in the coming months. Since Britain exited the EU, this is the first occasion CAA approval was needed for a Gulfstream aircraft. The agency utilized the efforts of the other aviation agencies to expedite the processes and requirements needed for the approval. Army helicopter accident kills instructor and injures student. An instructor pilot was fatally injured and a student pilot had to be airlifted to a hospital for injuries sustained in the crash of an AH-64 Apache helicopter on Fort Novosel Army Base in Alabama. Military authorities on base said the accident is being investigated, but did not immediately provide any info on the circumstances surrounding the accident. However, Dale County Coroner John Cowley did provide the identity of the IP as 46-year-old Daniel Munger, who was retired from the Army and under contract to provide helicopter instruction. San Diego Fire Rescue gets a Huey. The Subaru 412 EPX was the center of a recent purchase by the San Diego Fire Rescue Department, with plans to use it as an advanced fire and rescue aircraft. The classic Huey profile has been a lasting element of the Bell lineup, and Subaru's take on the basic design has made sure it remains a viable contender among a sea of more recent helicopters. The 412 EPX is a follow-on to Bell's work, a joint venture between Bell at home and Fuji abroad. RAA approves Industry Committee Training Report. The Regional Airline Association has applauded the release of the Air Carrier Training Aviation Rulemaking Committee report, which includes recommendations based on a year of focused work by a diverse group of aviation safety and training experts. The ACT-ARC working group was comprised of safety and pilot training experts, as well as organizations like the RAA, A4A, the National Air Disaster Foundation, ALPA, CAPA, CAE Inc., National Air Carrier Association, Flight Safety International, and the AFA-CWA, amongst other industry experts. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. GoldFinch first piloted E-aircraft flying at NASA Langley. Electra's hybrid-electric eSTOL demonstrator, the EL-2 Goldfinch, successfully completed a demonstration of its STOL and flight capabilities at NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia. Electra and NASA are collaborating on advanced air mobility research, development, demonstrations, and information sharing under the auspices of a NASA Space Act agreement. Separately, under a NASA Small Business Innovation Research project, Electra is developing a solar-electric high-altitude long-endurance aircraft called the High Altitude Platform Station. The demo for NASA Langley highlighted the eSTOL Goldfinch's use of distributed electric propulsion with blown lift technology, capable of taking off and landing in under 150 feet. The demo flight was conducted from Electra's Manassas, Virginia facility to NASA Langley, a 120-mile cross-country flight. In blown lift technology, airflow is directed over the wings and trailing edge flaps by an array of propellers driven by their own motors. The accelerated airflow creates a sheet of air coming off the trailing edge that makes the wing behave larger than it actually is. Electra is developing a 9-passenger eSTOL production aircraft intended for replacing short and medium distance trips of up to 500 miles. After these messages, the Hawaii Martin Mars performs its final flight.
I grew up in an aviation family. My dad flew airplanes and flew air shows actually, so ever since I was 3 years old, the only thing I've ever wanted to do was be an air show pilot. It's cliche, but I get to live my dream every single day. I'm currently using the Hartzell Talon, the new aerobatic propeller. It's increased the performance of the airplane. It's made the harmonics balance throughout the airplane so much better. By far the best aerobatic propeller that I've ever flown behind.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
Welcome back. The Hawaii Martin Mars performs its final flight. The British Columbia Aviation Museum shared that the Hawaii Martin Mars made its last flight on Sunday, August 11th. The aircraft will now be permanently displayed in the museum's Wildfire Aviation Exhibit. 2 Martin JRM-3 Mars water bombers are still operational, one of them being the Hawaii Mars. The other, the Philippine Mars, will be relocated to the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona. Both of these aircraft are owned by Colson Aviation. The company has put extensive effort into upgrading the pair's avionics and preparing them for their last flights. The Hawaii Mars' final flight path was visible on several common flight radars. It flew along Vancouver Island's east coast, making its way through several checkpoints for aviation enthusiasts to view. The aircraft then passed over Victoria, escorted by the Snowbirds Demonstration Team. It touched down in Pat Bay around 7 p.m. local time, where hundreds of viewers waited to celebrate its legacy. The aircraft will be on display at the BC Aviation Museum's Wildfire Aviation Exhibit. This attraction has over 40 full-size aircraft on display, celebrating nearly a century of aviation history. It is located on the grounds of the Victoria International Airport in Sydney, British Columbia, Canada. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.